Hi, welcome to the Brief Book Reviews channel, otherwise known as An Old Guy Reviews the Book that he's read this week. So what's the old guy read this week? Well, the book I read this week is this one. It's called Lost and Never Found by author Simon Mason. It was published by River Run as a hardback here in the UK on the 18th of January 2024. And it's the third episode of the D.I. Wilkins mysteries. Who they, I hear you say? Well, regular viewers of the channel will probably know that this is the third book in the series. I reviewed the second book, The Broken Afternoon, on the channel, so have a look at that one if you want to. It's okay. Two guys called Wilkins, not related. We've got D.I. Ray Wilkins, suave, sophisticated, Oxford educated, an Oxford blue, always dresses well, an up-and-coming guy in the police force in Oxford. The other Wilkins, not so much. Ryan Wilkins, from the wrong side of the tracks, a trader park boy, dressed like he's been dragged through a hedge backwards most of the time, impetuous, but a very keen eye, spots things. So the previous books, we've seen the relationship between the two guys, and by hook or by crook, they get there in the end, despite their different temperaments and their different ways of looking at crimes. So what's this one all about, I hear you say? Well, once again, it's set in Oxford. Oxford, the city of great learning, and great architecture, great culture, and of course, a three-sided football ground. So what's this one about? Well, the story starts with a call to the emergency services, 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's a lady called Zara Fanshawe. Zara is a celebrity, a modern-day celebrity, and she leaves a message. She says, and I'll read this to make sure I get it right. This is Zara Fanshawe, always lost and never found. 1 hour later, Zara's Rolls-Royce Phantom is found in a slightly sketchy area of the city. And the paparazzi go wild because Zara's a well-known personality and she's disappeared. Her brand new, spanking new Rolls-Royce has been found in an abandoned car park. Abandoned in a car park, not an abandoned car park. So the police clearly need to find out what's going on here. So the Wilkins boss, Ray Wallace, and known as Barco to his friends, calls them in and said, look, the press are going to be all over this. We need to find out what's happened to this woman. Now, it could well be that she's well known for going on binges, disappearing for a few days, going into rehab, and then coming back. Could be, that's all it is. But we need to be on top of it because we're going to be under terrible scrutiny by the media. So, in a quite surprising move, Barco appoints Ryan Wilkins, the slightly scruffier and more impetuous one of the two, to lead the investigation. Clearly, Ray, the modern type, well-dressed, educated one, doesn't like this. But they go on with the investigation. Very soon, this investigation turns slightly differently though when Zara's body is found. Alongside that, we have a homeless woman called Lena, who's looking everywhere in Oxford for a vagrant, somebody who's a homeless person who pushes a shopping trolley around called Waitrose. Why are the two connected? Why is this suddenly happening? And P.S., what's happened to Waitrose? So alongside this, we have the DCC, the Deputy Chief Constable Chester Lynch, who's looking to set up a new initiative. She's an up-and-coming person, well-respected, well-known, and she's taken a bit of a shine to Ray Wilkins, the one who's not leading the investigation. So we have a slightly complicated matter here. And the two guys are tasked with finding out what's going on. There's clearly a lot going on. There are secrets that have been hidden, been buried away in the past, and some of the people in this in the scene are hiding things that they need to find out. So it's quite a good story. It's set in modern day Oxford. My one complaint, and perhaps is being a bit picky, is that the plot is fairly straightforward. We have a disappearance, a murder, and then another disappearance, and it's up to the two detectives to find out, what's going on here. Because clearly there is something going on. They're linked, and they're linked to events that have happened in the past. So that's a fairly straightforward plot. I think perhaps in this book, the author has concentrated too much on the relationship between the two guys. Before, there was always a subtle difference. They're quite, chalk and cheese. They're totally different. But this book, there's a chasm between them, and they're struggling. There's almost sort of childish behaviour from the two of them at times. And I just felt that there perhaps should have been more of an onus, more of a focus, if you will, on the plot and the story, rather than the relationship with the two guys, which in a way got in the way of the story a bit. But nevertheless, a reasonable one. And there are some side plots. There are, both these guys are now fathers, and it's looking at their relationship with the job and being a father. Ray, the posh one, has got two twins. Ryan, he's got little Ryan, who's looked after by his sister Jade, and you see the pulls by family that get in the way of the police investigation, or shall I say the other way around, the investigation that gets in the way of family life. So it's not a bad read. I read it in 2 sessions. I'd give it 6 out of 10, and only 6 out of 10 because, as I said, I think the relationship between the two guys got in the way a bit. Otherwise, it'd have been a 7. So it's a reasonable read. At the back of this book here, we've got the first few pages of the next D.I. Wilkins mystery. So there's going to be another one. I just hope in that one there's a bit more plot and less argy-bargy between the two central characters. So that's it for this week's brief book review. Thanks for watching. 10/10 till we do it again. Thanks.